Hey guys, it's Tahira and this is my 10 before the end, aka 10 books that I want to read by the end of the year. This is a little bit of a delusional TBR because am I kind of in a little bit of a reading slump? Yes. Has my reading pace kind of slowed down a lot towards the end of the year? Yes, but I'm still going to be delusional and these are kind of the priority TBR books, to be considered books that I will be picking up as my end of the year reading kind of wraps up. It is the middle of November, so I have just about like 6 weeks to the end of the year. So I'm gonna be starting with books that I'm absolutely like pretty much guaranteed to read. Obviously, I don't know, a lot of these are really big books, so obviously I don't know how long it's gonna take me to read some of these, but these are books that I'm absolutely planning on picking up, and then it's gonna go more into hopefuls that I want to get to before the end of the year. But obviously I'm not gonna get, like, realistically, I'm not gonna get to all of these 10. Of course, I'm only gonna get to a few, but these are just some books that are on my radar. First book, which I have been talking about all year long, and I have said, like, throughout the year in many videos that I absolutely will pick this up this year. So for sure it's gonna be one of my, like, next books, is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book in the Mistborn series, and it's kind of starting off the whole cosmic universe for me. I have read one book from Brandon Sanderson, Elantris. I didn't love that one, but I've heard this is a lot more like action-packed. The reason I didn't really love that one was because it's very slow. It's very not mundane, but it's just a lot of following characters' day-to-day lives and them figuring out certain things. It's almost a cozy fantasy in my opinion, but I've heard this one is really like adventurous and action-packed.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh my god, I said series and my Siri activated, so I am so sorry about that. But yeah, I've been saying about this for like the entire year, and yeah, I just finally have to get to this. If I don't, I will be mad at myself. Like I said, some of these books are really long. This is 650 pages, so I will probably pick this up really soon because I really want to get to it. It is a chunky book and I am kind of scared, but I absolutely want to get to this before the end of the year. The next book that I want to get to, another super chunky book. I just want to get to this because it is super hyped right now and I feel like everyone has been reading it, and that is of course Alchemized by Sen Ling Yu. This is the latest like book talk super hyped book that's been out. This is a reimagining of Manacled, which is a Dramini fanfiction. Yes, it is 1,000 pages, and this is like a book that I really want to get to, and I want to pick this up. Like, I don't know if I will finish. This might be a book that I carry on with me into the new year, but I am definitely planning on picking this up. And again, these books already so chunky, 1,000 pages, 650 pages. So realistically, like, I don't know if I will get to almost any of these books, but I'm really planning on picking this up, like probably more towards like the end of the year. Then I have another book that I've been talking about for literally ages, that I've been talking about since the summer. I said in June that I would read it in June and I never did, but that is Binding 13. When Releasing 10 came out, and I think it was like April or May, I really wanted to get into the series because everyone has been raving about it and they say that it's amazing, and I've heard a lot about it, and I feel like I've heard like nothing but amazing things. It's almost all like raving reviews for this. So yeah, definitely this is a contemporary, so I think it will be good to break up some of the like denser fantasy I have on this list. So I am planning on picking this up. I also will be traveling a lot in the next 6 weeks, so yes, I will be busy, but also I'm hoping that like traveling times, like being on the plane and stuff, will give me some time to read. But yeah, I'm really hopeful to getting to this one. Then I have another denser fantasy that I've been talking about for so long that I've been wanting to read, and that is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Another super popular like book talk, booktube, book internet hyped book. This has been out for quite a while now and I'm kind of past the hype, but I'm still really excited about it. A lot of people also say that this is amazing, and I've just heard a lot of raving reviews about this. The cover is also gorgeous, and this is where we're getting to the books where I really hope that I can get to this, but I probably won't. But still, if I feel like I'm a mood reader, so if I am wanting to mood read, I will definitely be looking to this stack to pick up the books. These are also all books on my physical TBR, which would be amazing to get to because my My physical TBR has been getting a little bit out of control, but yeah, because I am a mood reader, I won't 100% decide which book I'm gonna read first, but I know that I'm gonna be picking from this stack in general. Then is a book that I've been hearing a lot about in general for a couple of years now, and that is Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. This is another like super hyped book. I've heard nothing but like amazing things. Obviously there's mixed reviews about the series, but in general I've heard really amazing things. This is a really long series. I think it's like 9 books plus like a lot of spin-off series, but I've heard it's a wild journey. I think it's also super easy to read, and it's more like a fun, like entertaining series, which I think would be like, it would help me go through it like more quickly than like a denser series. But overall I've just heard a lot of amazing things about this, and I just want to get into the Zodiac Academy world. Next book is a book that became popular like a couple months ago, and I've just been hearing also great things about this, and that is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This is her newest like adult series, and all I've heard it compared to is like toxic lesbian vampires, and that's really all I need to know. I know it follows like 3 women in 3 different time periods, and somehow their stories like intertwine. I don't know, but I've just heard a lot about it, and again, it's one of the books that I don't think I'll get to, but again, I'm being delusional. Maybe I'll read in my dreams, probably, but I'll hopefully read all 10 books by the end of the year, who knows. But yeah, this is definitely on my radar for the books I want to read by the end of the year. Another fantasy romance that I've heard so much about, and that is Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iru. This is a celestial inspired fantasy, and I've also heard nothing but amazing things about this. A lot of people say it's like really the epitome of what a fantasy romance is, and the cover of all this is also stunning. I love like anything celestial related in general in terms of design, so I really love the cover. And yeah, nothing more really to say about this, but this is also like not too long. I think it's like 450 pages. Okay, it's like pretty typical, but it's not as long as some of the other like books on this list, so I'd probably try to get this probably sooner than later. But again, this is a delusional TBR, so we'll see. But I still really want to get to this. And if I don't, this will probably be appearing in my 26 books to read in 2026 video. But hopefully not. Next is a long-anticipated sequel to a really popular duology, and that is Rebel Witch by Kristen Strelli. This is the second book to the Heartless Hunter series. I'm really excited about this because a lot of people said that this is better than Heartless Hunter, which I feel like usually people don't talk about sequels that way. Usually the sequels are worse than the first book, but people said that this is better. So I'm really excited about this one. It also is a YA fantasy, so I feel like it'd be easier to get through than some of the other books like Alchemized and Final Empire. But yeah, I'm really excited about this, and again, this is like towards the end of the list, so very likely this will carry on over to 2026, but this is still, again, it's going to be in my TBR for the end of the year, so when I'll be picking what I want to read, it'll be from this list, so maybe I'll get to this. Then is a absolutely amazing book that I've been hearing about that everyone basically has been giving 5 stars, and I also did a video on my TikTok earlier in the year where I said that I want more 5-star reads because I only had like 1 at that point, and I asked people for their like most recent 5-star reads, and so many people said Blood Over Bright Haven by ML Wong, which I wasn't surprised because I've heard so many other people talk about this book in such an amazing way. All I know is that this girl, she has been studying magic and she wants to go to the school, but I don't think women are allowed. She gets like hired as like a janitor, but then she meets this guy and they uncover something, and it goes into like discovering secrets about magic or something. Overall, it sounds really good. I love books that are set in like school or university or some sort of academia setting, which this seems to be. And again, because I've heard just nothing but amazing things about this, I'm really excited about this. But again, we'll see if I get to it. And then the last book, which is a contemporary book, which is kind of a relief because I have so much, again, denser, heavier fantasy on this list, is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I read The 7-Year Slip in 2024, and it was one of my favorite books of the year. And then this came out, and I heard mixed reviews, but I still liked 7-Year Slip so much that I want to give this a chance, and I don't want the negative reviews to impact my rating. though it kind of already has, because I haven't read this almost because of that, because I feel like I've heard just so many mixed reviews about this. I know she already has another book this year, which also sounded interesting to me. So yeah, we'll see. This is also a contemporary, so I think it'll be a nice break between some of the books, so I might pick this up just because of that. But yeah, I am definitely wanting to read this book as well. Anyway, that was a super rapid fire going through my 10 before the end. Very delusional 10 before the end, but my 10 books before the end of the year nonetheless. Again, this is more of a list for me to pick from as I choose the books that I will read towards the end of the year. It's definitely not going to be a list that I will complete at all, or even probably half of them, just because some of them are just so long, especially the ones that I absolutely want to get to, which are like Alchemized and The Final Empire. Both of those are really, really chunky books, and I've been taking a little bit longer with chunky books. And again, like I said, I've been in a little bit of a reading slump towards the latter half of the year, but these are all still hopefuls. Let me know down below what are some of the books that you want to read before the end of the years. Of course, I would love to know, but that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe for more, and I will see you next time. Bye.